In this section, we will cover IS-3 roles and responsibilities. Information security is a shared responsibility and everyone plays a role. In the following slides, we will be going over the IS-3 defined roles. UC Office of the President has created a quick start guide by role that we encourage you to take a look at after this video. The first role we are going to look at is unit head. And before we do that, let's quickly review what a unit is. A unit is a point of accountability and responsibility that results from creating and collecting, or managing and possessing institutional information, or installing and managing IT resources. A unit is typically a defined organization such as Basket Engineering, or a set of departments such as Applied Mathematics, CSE, and Statistics. Now that we have defined a unit, let's take a look at the role of a unit head. Unit heads are the executives accountable and responsible for overseeing the execution of UC and campus information security policies within the unit. UCOP has created a 7-point checklist of the unit head's responsibilities. The first responsibility is to set an example by following UC minimum security standards. Unit heads are responsible for ensuring that your unit is managing cyber risk and compliance. Unit heads are also responsible for budgeting appropriately. Allocate sufficient budget to manage risks related to the operation of your unit. If unit heads are concerned about having adequate budget to do so, contact your local Chief Information Security Officer, CISO, and Chief Cyber Risk Executive, CRE. Thirdly, unit heads should delegate tactical responsibilities. Assign one or more team members to the role of Unit Information Security Lead. See Part 4, Roles and Responsibilities, for more specifics on this role. Make sure responsibilities are clear and unambiguous. Make sure internal service providers and/or suppliers clearly understand their responsibilities. 4. Unit heads should stay connected. Keep up with cybersecurity efforts by setting up regular touch bases with your Unit Information Security Lead. Be sure to look for communications from your location CRE and CISO. Ensure risk assessments and risk treatment plans are up to date. As the unit head, make sure you understand the risks related to your operation. Are you confident your unit has adequately addressed cybersecurity risks? Can your unit detect and recover from an attack? 6. Report events. Any security events, non-compliance issues, or cybersecurity concerns should be reported to the CISO. Make sure your unit knows to notify you in the event of a suspected or confirmed security incident. And finally, make sure you are managing suppliers responsibly. If you work with an external supplier in any capacity, make sure you review UC's information security policy and comply with all applicable requirements. See Section 15, Supplier Relationships, in the policy for a list of specific tasks and considerations for external suppliers. Next, let's take a look at roles and responsibilities of a proprietor. Information proprietors are the individuals responsible for establishing security requirements for the data, including classification levels. In addition to becoming familiar with IS-3, your key action items include 1. Establishing the ground rules. Proprietors set the requirements for protection level classification, access to, and release of a defined set of institutional information. You also classify this information in terms of its protection level and availability level. Secondly, make sure you are limiting access. Follow the principles of least access privilege to ensure people only have access to the minimum information and resources needed to do their jobs. Plan, track, and control secondary uses. 3. Make sure you are communicating when needed. Notify units, service providers, and suppliers of the protection level and any changes in requirements. Proprietors may need to follow regulation, monitor agreements and contracts, and understand recent court or regulatory rulings to understand your obligations. Your fourth key action is to approve. Review and approve requests for transfers and access to institutional information. Remember to take a risk-based approach to decision-making, operating by the principle of least access privilege to ensure people only get access to the minimum amount of information and/or resources needed to do their jobs. And finally, you observe. Be sure to stay on top of UC's record retention schedule requirements. For more information, check out UCOP's Quick Start Guide by role for proprietors. Next up is Unit Information Security Leads, or for short, UISLs. A term for the workforce members assigned responsibility for tactical execution of information security activities. UISLs are the person who put policy into practice. You are where rubber meets road when it comes to information security at UC. This role is designated by the unit head and is responsible for ensuring the execution of information security activities within their unit, including, but not limited to, set an example and practice basic cyber hygiene. Work with your unit to tackle cybersecurity issues as they arise. Embed cybersecurity into all projects, regularly patch systems and applications. Be smart about access. Be sure you operate by the principle of least privilege. Review all access rights periodically and review privileged administrator access rights regularly. Take a risk-based approach to decision-making. For example, when setting up security measures for a new application, consider what would happen if someone outside the UC got access, then act accordingly to set up the right levels of protections. Attend UISL quarterly meetings and stay connected to your Chief Information Security Officer, CISO, and cybersecurity-related news and alerts. Review and update risk assessments for the applications in your unit. Work with your CISO to get access to these assessments. Manage assets responsibly. Keep a record of where your sensitive information and IT resources are located, including what kind of data you handle. Ensure the proper handling, storing, and disposing of electronic media that contains institutional information. Report incidents. Report cybersecurity incidents to your CISO and unit head. Monitor your high-risk data and systems for signs of compromise. Manage your suppliers. Ensure your suppliers understand their responsibilities to protect UC's institutional information and IT resources. Agreements should include Appendix DS. Manage change responsibly. Make sure your unit follows good change management practices. Review and approve changes before they are implemented. Specific details about security lead responsibilities are available at UCSC's UISL website. For more information, check out UCOP's Quick Start Guide by role for unit information security leads. Moving on to service providers, a UC internal organization that offers IT services to units. If you're part of a UC group or organization providing specific IT services to a unit, you're considered a service provider. Much of your role involves partnering closely with the unit you are assisting to ensure strong information security practices. Service providers are internal, whereas suppliers are external. Your checklist includes the following steps. The first being to understand responsibilities. Service providers must make sure they are clear and unambiguous in terms of accepting security responsibilities. Make sure the unit served and the service provider have a solid understanding of who's doing what. Next on the checklist is to ensure compliance. The IT services you're delivering must comply with UC's information security policy. Number 3, partner with the unit. Work together to complete risk assessments, implementing security measures, and respond to potential or confirmed security incidents. Make certain the unit head understands the risks. Service providers should also report security incidents. Report any security incident, non-compliance issues, or cybersecurity concerns to the Chief Information Security Officer, CISO, and the unit head you serve. Service providers should ask questions. Better safe than sorry. When you're unsure of the way to protect institutional information or IT resources, ask your unit information security lead, unit head, or CISO. And finally, speak up. As a service provider, you are an expert in delivering compliance services to units at your location or other locations. You must clearly communicate to unit heads if your service offering does not comply with IS-3 or relies on the unit to meet certain provisions. For more information, check out UCOP's Quick Start Guide by role for service providers.